How are you guys? I'm just going to do a video about what I'm looking at for this week potentially. So first of all, starting off with the dollar or the XY. I'm pretty much just looking for a basic pullback and continuations. If we drop it onto a high time frame, you can see that our range that we're looking for is between this low and this high. So until either this high or this low gets broken, we are obviously still in this bullish range, and then when we obviously break, look for pullbacks and then continuations. But for the time being, what we are looking at the moment is price came down, created this low, and then we come up, and then we didn't really do anything as of anything crazy, to be honest with you. We came in and we literally just wicked out this high. So for me, I think we can actually get a pullback and have a little bit of a continuation lower. And I think we are, or we could potentially come in and take out this low, only because this low didn't cause anything of any great excitement. We didn't cause a break structure. We didn't really do anything. Yes, we kind of came in and tested into here, but we never really kind of did anything with this low. Obviously, if price now continues high, this is going to be our confirmed high low, and this will be our confirmed high. But for the time being, I think we could get a bit of a pullback and continuations. So if we drop it onto the hourly, you can see this is our break structure because price come down. We came in, we broke out of this structure, we came back down, we broke structure again. So what I'm waiting for is price to basically just pull back up into kind of anywhere within the 50%. I think sometimes looking for the massive area that caused the move, sometimes you don't always get that hit. So I will kind of look for the 50% to kind of see. But what I do want to be seeing is I do want to be seeing kind of a raid break structure and then continuations and pullback. So I do want to be waiting for kind of this sort of scenario within this area. So overall across the board on the dollar, I want to see some pullbacks and then continuation short. So that is what I am going to be looking at for this week. Is as long as we don't break this zone and we don't break higher, I am going to be looking for shorts off here. So US30 kind of came into where I expected. And if we go again high time frame, you can see on the weekly this is our low, high, lower low, looking for that lower high and then pullbacks. As you can see, price when we had this kind of big imbalance, we came to the 50%. Do I think we're going to come right back up into this little order in here? Probably not at the time being. I think the only time we're going to go through it is if we trade through it. But I do think we could potentially get some tests off anywhere in the 50%. Now, price has actually, in fact, just swept these highs. So I do want to wait and see what does happen if we are actually going to get some pullbacks and go long. I think we could probably come back up and take out this high. So what I do and shall be looking for is I do want to potentially see price trade back into some discount before actually going up into premium again. Again, when we have news like this and on AU, okay, AU is kind of actually testing what I expected, is sometimes when you get these big moves, so if we drop on the 4 hour, sometimes when you get these really big moves, price doesn't always come back and test exactly straight away. Sometimes you will actually just see a test of the 50%, which is kind of what's happening now. But obviously price come down a bit deeper. So because price isn't as deep on US30, I do want to see, there we go. We have a nice 45-minute zone here. We can map this out. So this is going to be my first zone that I'm going to be looking for. And obviously we'll take it down to the extreme and we will take it into here, go into a 4 hour. Why did I take, okay, so I was kind of looking off this whole 12-hour zone. So we have two potential areas that price could actually come and give me some sort of reaction from. So I want to be seeing if price can come up into here and continue, or price going to come up here and continue, or if failing that, we break lower. I do want to see if price can come up and can give us a bit of a continuation back lower, to see if we could maybe come in and fill some of this order whether price is going to come into the 50% or whether price is going to come down a bit deeper. I don't really think that, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think we're going to come down this deep, then I do kind of really want to see this weekly zone getting validated. But you can see price is coming up into this weekly zone at this current point. So I do want to see if we are going to get that move. If we just measure up the 50% of this zone, so 50% is kind of a little bit off, but that is fine. What I do really want to see is if price is actually going to give us one more run to then potentially start heading back down to the downside. So potential longs into short, maybe I do want to see that overall. I do want to kind of see that short move, because fundamentally the down is pretty dry at the moment, pretty peak, bearish order flow, fundamental bearish. So I do just want to kind of see potentially we have this high run one more time, because this was the high that was created in the New York Open. You can see 11 o'clock. So I do want to see if we can run this high one more time. AU, we've all kind of been looking at the same kind of zone, to be fair. You can see we tested now weekly demand, and now we had a nice reaction from this zone. Now you can see we came in and tested small demand, but the main thing we've all kind of been looking for is we've now had this breaker structure. So now it's kind of looking for this kind of move. If we get that pullback, I do have a couple of zones. I believe it's 30-minute. Yeah, so I do have a nice 30-minute zone down here. Is that it? Yeah, that is it. So 30-minute, 45-minute zone. That is kind of where I'm looking at to see if we can actually go long. So that's like a what, 28 pip move, or 28 pip potential stop loss if was to actually potentially be looking to trade off this. But for the time being, I am going to wait and see. But we have had this breaker structure, and this is potentially looking quite nice to see if we can get some longs. Gold is missed kind of where I was looking at, to be honest with you. You can see price came super close up into the 50%. You can see we have this supply zone which is running basically right next to the 50%. So that would have been really nice to see get hit. We didn't get that. I was looking to see if we were going to come into a little 30-minute zone, and here again you can see we didn't get that, and that is fine. But now we are kind of coming into these lows going in from last week. I was looking for this zone, but we do have relatively flat lows in here, so I didn't really look for any sort of buys, because I was still potentially under the idea that price could in fact run out these lows. So obviously we've broken structures. I do want to see if price can go and run maybe one more time, take out this high and come into our zone a little bit deeper. But if we kind of just take the range, so you can see 50% of this zone is almost getting tapped. Can we find a zone within this 50%, which is looking quite nice? I mean, not really. Not really, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to wait and kind of hold my hands on this to kind of see if any kind of moves do want to fruition or do want to play out. Maybe if we got a nice pullback into said zones up here, but for the time being we are quite bearish, so I am going to just leave it for the moment. Euro pound as well. Again, Euro pounds, we had super clean supply that caused high time frame impulse lower. So you can see this is our impulse, this is our correction. Now looking for that impulse again. Now I have two zones that I was looking for. Second zone got hit. The only reason why I was looking for this zone before is because I'm just going to be going off the most recent supply zone, the most recent demand zone that was created. You can see we have a breaker structure. So now we have a confirmed breaker structure. It's just kind of really waiting to see if price is going to come into the area that caused this breaker structure. But you can see the market gapped. We literally just gapped straight into this zone, really clean. And now I do want to see if either price is going to come up into this, one hourly doji one more time, or if we are going to kind of have a bit of a complete reversal and maybe head down. I don't think it would be stupid to look for this zone. Maybe not, because if we drop it on a bit of a higher time frame, you can see that in fact this is your structure. So for price to be deepening into this, that is fine. But it's all about making sure where the real kind of swing points are. So for me, on the high time frames, I'm literally classing this as one leg to then pull back and maybe go one more time, because we have a breaker structure here, yes, but there was no kind of real pullback. We've broken in, well, we had like these wicks, but high time frame, we didn't really kind of do that. So if I just simple fib, so you can see our fib levels are kind of lining up in here, and we do have our fib target lining up in this zone as well. So that's going to be quite interesting to see what does happen. We are only obviously Monday, London Open 10:30. If I'm going to be honest, not really too much of any great excitement is happening at this current point, which I'm really want to be jumping in or focusing on. I am and do want to wait just for my zones to be met and to really wait for some confirmations. The one thing I'm really waiting for is the dollar to kind of see, because there's going to be more of like the catalyst, because US30, AU gold, none of these guys are really going to do anything unless US30 unless the dollar kind of does something of significance. I mean, if we go to US dollar, that's not the correct one. Yeah, US dollar, again, you can see I'm literally looking for the exact same thing. We have now created equal highs, which is nice to see. But I do want to see if price is gonna kind of give us a bit more of a swing move. You can see if we take this all the way lower, price is coming to 50% once. But again, this high, no, sorry, this is our low, this is our high, price coming to 50%, but this low never caused anything of any great significance. So again, I do want to see if price could pop back up one more time. Now we've had this break structure, I mean more of a lower time frame break. I do want to see if price is actually going to trade up one more time and actually head a little bit to the downside, maybe a little bit south. Do we have any nice supply zones? Okay, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do we have one on the 12? No, 11. So I would be looking to see if there was going to be any reaction off of this area, only because this did cause some sort of impulse, really kind of invalidate some sort of apply in there. I'm not looking for buys of this by any means. It's just a potential target. You can see the fib is lining up quite nicely with that target as well. But yeah, I do want to see what happens with this pair going into the New York session. I think it's going to be quite interesting. But I'm going to start doing videos. Obviously Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Monday I'm going to be doing what I'm looking at for this week. Wednesday going to be a bit of an update, and then Friday is going to kind of be the day where I kind of look back on all the trades and kind of break them down, and hopefully you guys can take something from that. I mean, this video wasn't as exciting as I was hoping. I mean, anything can happen. Just kind of need to be patient, let the market develop, and like patient pays. It really does. If like you can have the best strategy in the world and just not be patient. I've been so guilty of this in the past. Like my knowledge and strategy is on a very strong level, but sometimes just my patience, it just fucks me sometimes. So just really being patient to wait and see kind of what happens with these pairs is going to be the best bet for everyone. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you've kind of taken something from it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Feel free to fire away and I will help you as much as I can. All right, guys. Bye.